Hi everyone, my name is JT Pilot, and today we'll be making another video. This time we'll be doing the 35th Jacksonville Fictional Airport Day, and this is for August of 2024. In today's video, we have another jam-packed airport day for you guys. And the last Jacksonville Fictional Airport Day, you guys really enjoyed that video. I got over 20,000 views, my most viewed video ever. And I got a lot of new viewers from us. I'd like to welcome all of you to this video. And I know a lot of you enjoy these airport dates. And in today's video, we got several brand new models. And yes, we got several brand new models, mainly from Aviation 400 and NG models. So that's really exciting. And we also got brand new ground surface equipment. So the airport is even more realistic. Yes, and you'll be seeing the new equipment throughout this video. So nonetheless, let's get started off with all the aircraft taxiing around. So let's get started. Starting with our first aircraft, you have a Singapore Airlines Airbus A380. This aircraft is number one for takeoff for a flight out to Singapore, and he will be making a stopover in Frankfurt, Germany. All right, proceeding on to our next aircraft. Here at a British Airways Boeing 777-200ER, you will be doing the flight out to London Gatwick today. So, it's the British Airways does two routes on my fictional airport. They fly to London Heathrow and London Gatwick, so there's some options for our travelers. So, you'll be heading out to London Gatwick, and the Gatwick route is mainly on the 777-200. This aircraft is number 3 for takeoff here at Continental Airlines Retro 747-900ER from United Airlines. So this United 747-900ER will be heading out to San Francisco today. And this is such a beautiful engine model. I really love the Continental Retro 747. So what a beautiful model. Moving on to our next aircraft here, the Delta CRJ-900. And this aircraft will be heading out to Raleigh, Durham, and this is an Endeavour Air flight. So that's another great route there. Moving on to our next aircraft here, the American A321-200. And this aircraft will be heading out to Charlotte today. Then we have the NG models Delta E330-300. And this aircraft will be heading out to Paris today. So that's another wonderful route. Proceeding on to our next aircraft here, the Gemini Jet Southwest 737-700 in the Heart livery. What a great older model. So yeah, grateful to feature this rare model. So this aircraft is just arrived in from Albany and be soon heading out to Indianapolis. Moving on to our next aircraft here at Air Canada Express. Here at Air Canada Express, Embraer ERJ-175. And this aircraft will be doing a flight out to Montreal today. So I haven't used that route in a while, and haven't used this aircraft in my fictional airport in a while. So yeah, grateful to use this wonderful Gemini Jets model. Got a few taxiing international aircraft we want to get to. So starting off our first one of those, here we play Airbus A321neo. And this aircraft will be heading out to Reykjavik. Moving on to our next aircraft, here the Flair 737-800, another model I haven't used in a while, so grateful to feature it once again. And he'll be heading out to Kitchener-Waterloo, so hopefully I'll get a Flair MAX 8 in the future, so we can add some more diversity to the airport day. And we got another aircraft taxiing over here. Here is Sun Country 747-800, and he'll be doing a flight out to Minneapolis, St. Paul, so pretty typical Sun Country service, and that is a lovely NG model. Moving on to our next aircraft here, the Southwest 747-800. This aircraft has just arrived in from Las Vegas, and will be soon heading out to Chicago Midway. And we got another taxi aircraft here, the Korean 777-300, and he'll be heading out to Seoul Incheon International Airport. Moving on to our next model here, the United 737-900ER, any Continental Global livery. What a beautiful NG model, and he'll be heading out to Houston Intercontinental today. Moving on to our next aircraft here, the Frontier Airbus A321neo. And this aircraft, this A321neo in the Uzi de Orca livery, will be heading out to San Juan in Puerto Rico today. So what a lovely model and what a lovely route. Proceeding on to our next aircraft here, the wonderful JetBlue Airbus A321neo and the ribbons tail. So what a beautiful model by Panda Models. And this aircraft will be heading out to Los Angeles today. So doing a transcon flight with the Mint cabin. Moving on to our next taxiing aircraft here, the Delta Airbus A220-100. This aircraft will be heading on over to Salt Lake City. Moving on to our next aircraft, we got a little aircraft right here. Here, the silver ATR-42. And this aircraft will be heading out to Marsh Harbor in the Bahamas. And we got our first new model in today's video, which is the American 787-9. And don't mind the nose landing gear being up a little bit, and it's my table here is it's a little funky there. So we'll fix that. It's a little interesting there. So yeah, sorry about that. Yes, let's move that up. Okay. Yeah, it's still doing its thing. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna move this thing up. There we go. Decided to do some little movement with the airport, with the model. So this American 787-9 has just arrived in from Madrid, and you'll be making a return flight out there soon. So Madrid is a new American service out of my fictional airport. I was thinking of some new routes I could do with the American 787-9. I didn't really want to do more domestic wide-body flights, so this aircraft will be heading over to Madrid, and Madrid currently has no service from any other airlines. So yeah, besides Air Europa. So the One World Alliance has wanted to compete with Air Europa, so they told American to operate the Madrid route. So that is a new route from American Airlines. Proceeding on to an aircraft that is just touching down. So just touching down here, the Southwest 747-700 in the Heart livery with the blended winglets by Panda model. So this aircraft, so we'll say this aircraft has just arrived in from Montego Bay in Jamaica and be soon heading out to Aruba today. So those are some cool international flights. And proceeding on to our next aircraft here, the United Express Embraer ERJ-175, and this aircraft will be heading out to Cleveland today. So that is your typical United Express flight. Proceeding on to our next aircraft here, the Air Canada Airbus A321 with the fin-tip winglets. That wonderful HYJL wings model. And this aircraft will be heading out to Toronto Pearson. Moving on to the flying pencil here, the United Boeing 757-300. What a beautiful NG model. Grateful to feature another airport date. And this aircraft will be heading off to Chicago O'Hare. This aircraft has just departed taxiways here at the Avianca Airbus A320 with the Alaska Retro Heritage Tail. that's a mouthful there. So the Alaska A320 will be heading out to Bogota later on today. So he just arrived in from there. So that's a beautiful Avianca model from NG Models. Moving on to our next model here, the Icelandair 737-MAX 8, and this aircraft will be heading out to Reykjavik, Helpavik. Moving on to our next aircraft here, the Southwest 737-800 in the beautiful Tennessee 1 livery. So we'll say I did not get a route for this one. So we're going to make up some routes for it. So this aircraft in the Tennessee 1 livery, we'll say he just arrived in from Houston Hobby, and he'll be soon heading out to San Diego today. So so that model was on my route sheet, unfortunately. So there you go. So there you go. So Tennessee 1 will be heading out to San Diego. Moving on to our next aircraft here, the JetBlue Airbus A320 in the Spotlight Tail. What a beautiful Panda model. And this aircraft is just riding from Providence and be soon heading out to Buffalo, New York. Moving on to our next model here, the beautiful Alaska Salmon People livery 747-800. So what a beautiful NG model. And this aircraft is just riding in from San Francisco and he'll be soon making a return flight out there. So the CFO service has returned. Moving on to our next model here, the Azula Airbus A330-900 Neo. So I know one of you requested the Azula A330 in the comment section, so there you go. And this aircraft will be heading out to Campinas in Brazil. Moving on to our next model here, the American 737-MAX 8. And we'll say this American 737-MAX 8 will be heading out to, we'll do New York LaGuardia for him. So what a beautiful Gemini jet smile there. So it's different seeing that on the taxiway. And moving on to the next aircraft here, the JetBlue Airbus A321 with the balloon's tail. And this aircraft will be heading out to New York John F. Kennedy. And our next model here is a Copa 737-800. He just arrived in from Panama City and will be soon making a return flight out there. Moving on to our next model here, the KLM 787-9. He just arrived in from Amsterdam and will be soon making a return flight out there. Moving on to our next aircraft here, the Delta 737-800. He just arrived in from Seattle, Tacoma, and be soon making a return flight out there. So what a beautiful NG model. Moving on to our next model here, the NG model Southwest 737-MAX 8. This is in the Herb Keller livery. What a beautiful livery here, beautiful NG model. So this 737-MAX 8 has just arrived in from Rochester, New York, and you'll be soon heading out to Baltimore, Washington. And our final taxi aircraft on the taxiways is a Scandinavian Airbus A350-900, and this aircraft will be soon heading out to Copenhagen. And proceeding on to Terminal 1 of my Jacksonville Fictional Airport, and here we're starting off the United Airlines section. We do have one new model over here. So, starting off our first aircraft. Starting off our first United aircraft, here's the United 737-MAX 9, and we'll say this aircraft has just arrived in from Los Angeles and be soon making a return flight out there. So, yes, you have noticed there is some jet set models GSE throughout this video, and yeah, so I got some United GSE here. Oh my, it looks so much more realistic here. You see the people walking around, all the ground crew, and yeah, we've got a pilot there doing a pre-flight check of the MAX 9. So that is really great to see. So got some new stairs there. I got the GPU unit, all that. It looks so fantastic there. Just wanted to mention that. And moving on to our next aircraft here, the 737-MAX 8. And we'll say this aircraft has just arrived in from Denver and be soon making a return flight out there. Moving on to our next aircraft here, the United Airbus A320 by Altitude Model / Painted Model. So this is a new model to the collection. This is an exclusive model to West Coast Diecast. So if you're interested in this model, use my code JTPilot for 5% off at their store. So yes, that is a West Coast Diecast exclusive there. So yeah, I'm grateful to have this model, and yes, that's one of the first to receive it. And there's a review for this on my YouTube channel. So what a beautiful model here. So this United A320 has just arrived in from Washington, Dulles, and be soon making a return flight out there. So this model will be a workhorse in the collection, and you'll be seeing this model in several more airport dates to come. So what a beautiful United model. Speaking of beautiful United models, we got a few more over here. So starting off our next United aircraft, here's the 757-200 in the Continental Globe livery, and this aircraft will be heading out to Newark. Proceeding on to our next United aircraft, the United 767-400ER, and he'll be doing a flight out to Honolulu today. So what a beautiful Panda model. Proceeding on to our next aircraft over here, the Lufthansa was A350-900, and yeah, we're starting off with our some more international carriers. So this Lufthansa A350 will be heading out to Munich. And proceeding on to our next model, and this is another new model from Aviation 400, being the Qantas 787-9. So this is an exciting milestone for my Fictional Airport, just because this is our first ever Australian carrier to fly to Jacksonville. So, and this is our first ever Qantas model in the collection, so that's really great to see. So yes, I know in real life this flight wouldn't be feasible just because of the 787's range, but we can make it work just because we'll say this aircraft has just arrived in from Sydney after making a stopover in Los Angeles, and they do a similar thing with their New York JFK route. So so let's make it work over at my Fictional Airport. So so that's really cool to see. And once Qantas gets their A350-1000s, I'll definitely get a model, and we'll put it in to the Jacksonville Fictional Airport, because at least that aircraft should have the range to fly to my Fictional Airport. So once again, this Qantas 787-9 will be heading out to Sydney in Australia after making a stopover in Los Angeles. We're seeing on to some more models over here. Proceeding on to our next aircraft here, the JetBlue Airbus A321 in the balloons livery, and this aircraft, we'll say he has just arrived in. We'll say he's just arrived in from Newark in New Jersey, and be soon making a return flight out there. Moving on to our next aircraft here, the Alaska 737-900ER, and you'll be doing a flight out to Seattle today. Got some more GSE over here at the American Airlines section. So look how beautiful. I gotta keep on saying, look how beautiful and realistic this looks over here. So I can get you guys a different angle of the GSE. So this is American 747-800 in the Astrojet Heritage livery. So it's been a while since this aircraft has made a visit to Jacksonville. So this Astrojet 747-800 will be heading out to Dallas-Fort Worth. Proceeding on to our next aircraft here, the American 747-800 with the winglet logos. And this aircraft will be heading out to Phoenix Sky Harbor today. So we haven't used the Phoenix route in a while, so grateful to use it. Moving on to our next aircraft here, the American Airbus A319-100, and this aircraft has just arrived in from Philadelphia, and we see making return flight out there. And our final American aircraft in this section here, the American Eagle CRJ-700. This aircraft to be operated by PSA Airlines. It'll be doing a flight out to Washington National. And proceeding on some taxiing aircraft between the terminals, here the JetBlue Airbus A320-200, and he is going to be doing a flight out to Richmond today. So what a beautiful altitude model there, and beautiful JetBlue A320 in the high-rise tail. Proceeding on to our next JetBlue model here, the JetBlue A220, who's doing a flight out to Boston. And we have the American Eagle Embraer ERJ-175, who's taxiing off for a flight out to New York John F. Kennedy. And proceeding on over to Terminal 2, and I really love Terminal 2 just because of all the Southwest aircraft, so one of my favorite airlines over here. So, starting off with our first Southwest aircraft, and we have lots of new GSE over here as well, so that's really exciting. So, starting off with the first aircraft here, the Southwest 737-800. And we'll say this aircraft has just arrived in from Long Island Islip, and it'll be soon, and he'll be soon hanging out to St. Louis. Here we have the Gemini Jet Southwest 737-MAX 8, and this aircraft has just arrived in from Long Beach in California, and will be soon hanging out to Atlanta, Hartsville, Jackson. And just getting pushed back now with some ground crew on the taxiway over here. So here we have the Southwest 747-700 in the Arizona 1 livery. So what a beautiful Panda model. And this aircraft is getting pushed back for a flight out to Tucson in Arizona. And we'll say this aircraft is just arriving from Hartford. Proceeding on to your next taxiing aircraft here, the Southwest 747-700. And he's getting loaded up for a flight out to Norfolk, Virginia after arriving in from Kansas City. Here we have another Southwest 747-700, but this time it's one in the Canyon Blue livery. So yes, there are still two of these flying around as of the recording date of this video. So this Southwest 747-700 has just arrived in from Columbus, and will be soon heading out to Colorado Springs. And our final Southwest aircraft in this section is the Southwest 747-MAX 8, and this aircraft has just arrived in from Dallas Left Field, and be soon heading out to Nashville. And proceeding on to our next model here, the beautiful NG model Spirit Airbus E321neo. And this aircraft will be heading out to Chicago O'Hare today, and he's getting loaded up. And we have our Spirit aircraft over here. Here the Spirit A320 with sharklets, and he will be heading out to New Orleans today. Moving on to our next aircraft here, the Allegiant Airbus A320, and he just arrived in from Asheville in North Carolina, and be soon heading out to Charlotte Concord. Moving on to the next model here, the infamous Gemini Jet Avelo 747-800, and he will be heading out to New Haven today after arriving in from Wilmington in Delaware. Moving on to the next aircraft, here's our only subscriber offer for today's video. I promise there will be some more in the next airport update. So here the Frontier Airbus A320 in the Chanther Bronco tail, and this aircraft will be heading out to Minneapolis, St. Paul, or Leo's Paper Aviation's airport. And moving on to our final aircraft over at Terminal 2, and the Jeopard is a little messed up on that one, so excuse that. So here the Frontier Airbus E321neo in the America's Green Star Line livery, and this aircraft has just arrived in from Punta Cana, and you'll be seen heading out to Columbus. And we'll be proceeding on to some taxiing aircraft between the terminals. So starting with the first aircraft, here the Allegiant Airbus A319 in the old livery, and this aircraft has just arrived in from Owensboro, and be soon heading out to South Bend in Indiana. Moving on to our next taxiing aircraft here, the Breeze Embraer ERJ-195. And this aircraft is just arriving in from Fayetteville, Bentonville, in Arkansas, and it'll be heading out to New Bern, North Carolina. So those are two brand new Breeze routes out of my fictional airport. Moving on to some more taxiing aircraft here, the WestJet 747-MAX 8, who's taxiing for a flight out to Calgary. And we got a Spirit Airbus A319, and this aircraft will be soon heading out to Atlantic City. And we'll be proceeding on to Terminal 3. So we got one new model over here, and we got some more GSE for Delta Airlines this time. So, starting off the first aircraft, here we have Delta Connection, Embraer ERJ-175, and this aircraft will be soon heading out to Cincinnati. Here we have the Delta 747-900ER, and we'll say this aircraft will be heading out to Minneapolis, St. Paul. Moving on to our next aircraft, here the Delta Airbus A321, and this aircraft will be soon heading out to New York LaGuardia. Moving on to your next aircraft here, the Delta Airbus A321neo, and you'll be soon heading out to Detroit today. And moving on to your next aircraft, you have the Delta 757-200 in the Gen 1 configuration. And this aircraft will be soon heading out to New York John Kennedy. We got a brand new model over here, the Delta 767-300ER. So, yeah, so he's got the marshallers there. And this aircraft is pushing back for a flight out to Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson. So, this is a really nice engine model, in case you didn't watch my review of it. So, it's a really nice engine model. There's some minor issues with it, though, but still a beautiful model. I'm grateful to have another Delta 767. So, once again, this aircraft will be heading out to Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson. And moving on to our next aircraft, here we have another new model, which is the Aviation 400 Virgin Atlantic 787-9. So, grateful to have the 787-9 back in the collection. So, this aircraft will be heading out to London Heathrow. Moving on to our next aircraft, you have the Air France Airbus A350-900. And this aircraft is just arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, and we see making a return flight out there. Moving on to the next model, here the Condor Airbus A330-900neo, and he'll be soon heading out to Frankfurt. So proceeding on some beautiful international models over here. That's a really great shot there. So proceeding on to some beautiful international models, here the Caribbean 737-MAX 8, and this aircraft will be soon heading out to Port of Spain. And moving on to the next aircraft, here the Aeromexico 737-800, and he'll be soon heading out to Mexico City. And our final aircraft in today's airport day is the Porter Embraer ERJ195E2, and this aircraft will be soon heading out to Ottawa. And alright folks, so that's conclude today's airport day. So once again, this was the 35th Jacksonville Fictional Airport update, and this was for August of 2024, and this was the 35th Jacksonville Fictional Airport date. So. And yes, it was a wonderful airport day today. A little quick today, but that's all good. Yes, I was grateful to feature all 5 new models and all that GSE. The GSE has really made Jacksonville look so much more realistic. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed it. I do like to purchase some more GSE in the near future for the airport. So that is really exciting. Really exciting. There's some more Jet models GSE, and I may be getting some general aviation aircraft soon to add to the taxiways to make the airport look even more realistic. So yeah, so that's really it for that. Yeah, that's really it for the updates for the airport. And moving on to a life update at Half Star College at Elizabeth City State University. So that's really exciting. I really enjoyed down there so far, and I should be flying soon. So you'll be seeing some posts about that on my Instagram account. I don't plan on making videos about I'm flying because I would rather focus on flying rather than handling a social media account. So yes, you'll be seeing some posts about some pictures. So that's really exciting. So I am currently a student pilot. So that's going to take up some time. So that's why there'll be some less videos starting next week. So we'll be still having the airport updates, of course, and a few reviews, but the frequency may go down just a bit, just depending on my schedule. This week looks good for video making, so I did get to make this airport update a little bit earlier than expected. So that's really great to see. So yeah, but other than that, there's not really much else I want to discuss in this airport update. So I am JT Pilot. And I'd like to thank y'all so much for watching this video, and have a wonderful day.